I've always been very, very scared of life, and I've always had really, really bad anxiety about a lot of things. And I can't really address where it even came from, especially from when I was a kid. I never really had like anxiety over speaking to people or making friends. Like, I had a really, really like good friend group when I was growing up. But like, really, the transition like out of high school, and my transition specifically out of high school, because I went my senior year I spent in college. So when I was 16, I was surrounded by like 20-year olds and people a lot older than me, and I never really felt like I could have that like final move into like a friendship, especially since like I left all my friends from school, and then I had to basically work with a new friend group, a new like age group of people, and it felt like kind of very isolating. I made a lot of friends with people my age, but it was very hard when it wasn't like, oh, I see you guys like every day and we have all these classes together. It's just I see them and I talk to them, and it wasn't really like a real friendship. And I feel like especially coming to college, like my actual college, um I've had such like a better experience making friends, and I've been a lot more open to making friends. But oh my god, conversation with people who are not my friends are actually still so scary to me. Oh, wow. That was a V. He's actually really cute. He kind of scared me a little bit. Um but having conversations with people who I don't see as my friends, and especially like people I haven't known, is so hard. And you have to have them so much. So much. And like, I have very much came out of my comfort zone in a lot of times coming here, but sometimes I really feel so awkward in conversation. I overthink the smallest things. I overthink how I'm looking. If somebody notices that I didn't put on earrings today, and it's like, oh wow, she just like doesn't care about anything. But it's like, mm, you know, people are not looking at me like that, and I try to always remember that. But I get so lost in it sometimes. Like the other day, I was sitting talking with my friend who I've known for a while, and then a group of people come up to us, and they know them, but I don't. And literally, I sit there and I do this every single time when, like, I have been getting better. I have been getting better. I will say that. I don't do it as much as I used to. But every single time when, like, I'm with a friend and they're starting to talk to somebody, like, oh, they see somebody that, like, I don't know, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm invading your guys' space. Like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here. And either I literally, like, surf into space. I just kind of, like, go like, oh wow, so how's the weather or something? How's the weather? Like, what do I say? I don't even know what to do. But or either this one time, actually no, I do this a few times. It's not a one time thing. I do it a lot. I have been getting better at it. But like literally, I will just walk away. I'll just wander, and I'll be like, they'll find me when they're done. Like, I don't want to invade their own personal space, and especially like I get so anxious talking to people, and I don't want that to be the first impression. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of my newer like friendships and the newer people that I talk to, it happens very organically, and like being forced to talk to somebody that, and I was like, oh, I did not want to go up to this person, or I wasn't ready for conversation right now. Like, I don't want that to be the first impression of me. So like, I'll just be like, oh boy, I'll talk to this person on another day, on another time. And even when like I'm trying to build like connections with people, like I start talking to this one person, right? And like yada yada yada, like okay, like we're acquaintances, but like maybe we become friends. But like if I'm not ready to talk to them in the moment, I'm like, whoa. I see them walking, right? I'm walking. I will avoid eye contact like it's the plague. I'll be like, I had my headphones on. I couldn't even see. And it's not like I want to be rude, and like I don't mean in a rude way. I just really feel very anxious, and it's like, oh my god, bug. But I'm just very anxious and I don't want to come off like I am uncomfortable by your presence or anything you're doing is wrong. I just need that own space to when I feel comfortable to talk. I'll say, hey, I'll make a joke or something. But I have been pushing myself out of the comfort zone. So even when I don't feel a little ready, if I like think of like a funny joke or think of something to say, I'll be like, I'll say it. And I actually did that. I actually did that yesterday. And I was very proud of myself for it. It was really funny. Um, I was walking down my hall and this dude, his chips were stuck in the vending machine. And then I said, oh dang, they scammed you. And then we talked for a little bit. It was funny. And then it told me he had to just buy another one because then it would have been a waste. And that was funny. I told him to have a good night. I've been trying to tell everybody that I see to have a good night, have a good day, because I feel like it forces me to have a little bit more conversation than I usually do. Like, okay, if I say, hey, hi, he says, oh, you look pretty today. I say, oh, wow, you look so pretty. Thank you. You also look so pretty. Wow, you're complimenting me. That's so funny. But then, like, that's the only conversation. That's kind of awkward. So then I always try to say, like, have a great day or have a good day. Because I also do hope they have a really good day. And it does feel a bit more cohesive for me and helping me like be more comfortable. So I don't feel that awkward like, ooh, okay, they complimented me. Said, oh my god, and I said, yeah, thank you. And it's not as awkward. Um, so I'm trying to work on that. Uh, is there a bug on my back? Oh, what? I don't know what he is. I don't think I should touch him. Oh, that's a spider. That might not be good. We'll leave him alone for a little bit. Let's, yeah, let's just leave him alone. But I also wanted to talk about like the certain expectation I feel from myself when interacting with other people. And it's especially when like I know I can be a fun and bubbly and comfortable and outgoing person who doesn't really care like about people's thoughts about me. If this bug comes one more time, I think we gotta wrap it up, man. But I don't really care about people's perceptions of me that much. But when it comes to like small little social interactions, I will focus on those so much just because I I know I could have just said that. I know I could have done that. And it's like I have the capability to do it. So why didn't I just do it? So why didn't I? It's not even like I know I can. It's like I feel like, oh, if I know I can do something, like, oh, okay. Like but like I know I can. I know I can and I've been trying and then sometimes I don't try and I get really, really upset at myself. But I also have to remember, hey, like I'm growing. Hey, I'm moving past it and I'm becoming a more social person, but it takes time. I'm still going to be the very antisocial, scared, very anxiety inducing social conversation person. But the only way I can get better is realizing that I am that and that things are going to happen and not to dwell on them so much because then that fuels it again. And then I get into a really bad period where I'm like, I can't talk to anyone. And oh my God, if I'm in another room where I have to say a single word, I think I'm going to throw up. But hey, I have been pushing myself so hard. So hard. But I need to remember, hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. I want to think of a very funny situation that has happened with like specifically this situation. Guys, do I pause to think? I've never done this before. This is my first video. Um, I've been always wanting to do this for a while. I feel like I have a lot of thought that I really like and enjoying speaking. And especially when I have certain issues speaking in public, I get very nervous. This is a really good outlet for me. Um, and then also this is great in between yoga. Um, so it really does keep me centered. But oh my god, this one time I was sitting at my desk, right? This was in high school. I was sitting at my desk and I heard these two girls talking behind me, right? And they were talking behind me about good things, like good things. Um, and I think they were scared to talk to me just because, again, I'm not that social. I only talk to my friends that I've had since literally like first and third grade back then. But I was so scared to like say like, oh, like thank you. And I think they were like doing it on purpose for me to like turn and like say something, but like I was like, oh my god, this is uncomfortable. Like I don't I don't know how people view me, and that's very, very scary. And I think that's where most of my fears come from sometimes because I don't know how people view me. And I feel like people view me in a very, very different light depending on how I first like introduce myself or how people first meet me. And I feel like that controls a lot of my perception that I can never change. And that is something really crushing to me. But then I also remember, why do I care? Why do I care? Why do I give two shits? Honestly, people are going to look at you and think about you in any way that they want to, and I can't control that. And you know what? I can control how I view myself. And the only perception of me that I should care about is from me. And maybe my mom, because I love my mom. um, but now it's time for Would You Rather. Would you rather question on every subject? I'm gonna do this for every video. Would you rather be forced to talk to every single person that you have ever felt that you have been very anxious in conversation with and tell them like specifically what was going on in that moment? Every person maybe from the last 5 years. Or would you pardon me, would you rather be able to know every single time that when you're uncomfortable and somebody else is feeling that you're uncomfortable, so that when you're uncomfortable, like a big saying you're anxious that everyone in the room can see goes on every single time you're anxious? Personally, I feel like both of these would be very good for growth. And I don't know, I feel like I would take it on. I I would take on one of them. Definitely not the second. Maybe not the second one. I think that is a little bit jarring for me right now. But I feel like maybe once I do number one, I could do number two. Like once I get through number one, I could do number two. It'd be easy. I would never feel anxious again. I would talk to everybody and be like, "Hey, so you remember when I when remember when I was like literally about to cry after you said something mean about me?" And it wasn't even mean. I thought it was mean. You more so were just saying that I did something wrong, and I take criticism very hard. And then I started crying, and I was like, I need to never do anything wrong again. And this is the saddest I've ever been in my whole entire life. Just because you told me, hey, you didn't fill out your timesheet right. Like, oh my god. Like, hey, when you first started working your first actual job and you were working at the sandwich shop and you would get something wrong and you would be like, wow, I can never work in any service ever again. And I was like, and they're going to judge me. Even when I get good and I'm not making mistakes, they're going to judge me. And remember when my first day working accidentally made a wrong sandwich. Like, let's be so real. But those are real things. Those are real things that make me feel really insecure. But I've been trying to take a step back and look at everything from a bigger view. I feel like that has also helped me really a lot. like looking at everything and saying, hey, I'm just a small fish in a really, really big pond, and not everyone is focused on me and what I have going on. You know, I don't think people notice that I'm nervous 90% of the time in conversation. Definitely people who know me very well know that. But like when I talk about this sometimes, to especially people who don't know me, like before I really started like moving out of my comfort zone and trying to work on it, like I used to be so antisocial. And when I tell people like, oh, like I'm really antisocial and I'm really scared of conversation, it scares me so much. Everybody's like, what? I don't get that at all. You seem very comfortable in conversation, and you're actually pretty good at it. And I say, who are you lying to? Because I feel like every single time I talk, it's like a alien coming down from Earth and trying to socialize and not even speaking the same language. I don't, but on the other hand, this also recording videos will probably also help me work with this. Um, I have a friend I'm sharing this to because I did not tell most of my friends about this. Just because I feel like this is something that I want to personally just have separate from me in a way. Just like I just want to be able to talk and feel comfortable and not feel like I need to worry about anybody's perception. And that's what I'm going to try to do. But I am sharing this to my friend who has been really motivating me. She gave me this tiny mic to actually do this. And I'm going to try to be very consistent and very intentional. And now I'm going to record the yoga clips that you've been seeing throughout. But I hope you guys have a very, very, very great day, a great week if I don't see you. And remember, hey, nobody's watching you that hard. And we will all return to the earth one day. And I can't wait to return to this beautiful place. And I am out.